All right. So, welcome. Today, we will be doing and discussing the software development process. Development process. Development process. So, this is what we discussed today in class, and I'm just going to study it more deep while making this video as well. So, if you ever wanted to learn or wanted to know uh, how do they make these any software, what is the process, so today in this live stream we'll be discussing that. I hope my voice is clear. Yeah, I think. Hello. Yeah, is it's I guess good to go. So in this so today we will talking and identifying a problem all the way to collecting the right data, everything you need to know about software development process. So what happens is that in software development is development development okay. So in software development, what happens is that before writing a single line or single variable, right here you can see before even opening a laptop or planning happens, the question we should ask is why does this software need to even exist, right? So this is the very core question. If you cannot answer that, even if you then develop a software, it might not like work or might not solve a real problem, or there might not be some like the target user for that. See, it just says over here it's not a philosophy. Okay, wait, uh 1 second, I've gotta come. Yep, I am back. So now we'll just continue um, where we left. So this is not a philosophical question. It determines like why do a software even need to exist? And you, as you can see right here, it determines the entire direction or of your project or software. So if you give this answer, so if you don't have the answer for this, you will build something like nobody asked for. Uh, yep. So to answer this question, there are actually two reasons why we build software. Number one we have is the computerization, which just mean solving a specific problem or automating a manual process. So what I mean by computerization is, let's say you have some manual process that human do manually, and it takes time, and you do something, you build software or do something that uh, the same work, then able to the software will be able to do the same work that the human do. So that's what I mean by computerization. So what this is when something already exists, like as I said, the manual process or some manual work before it's being done the slow painful human way. People are doing it by hand with paper or spreadsheet with phone call. You just it work or with the phone call. I mean, as you can see right here, it says it works, but it's like inefficient and it takes much more time than a software will take. So this is like the better way or perfect way to automate or make a software for the manual process to speed it up, and to get more work in less time. So let's just discuss the example, a real example. A school store student record in physical file. Now they have a digital database. So before they were storing the student record in physical files, now they have a digital database where they store information and they can just access it and gets a backup. If they were in physical file and they somehow get destroyed through whatever ways, or some disasters, they will just lose the student record, which is which were in the physical files. Another example is this: a shop wrote customer bill by hand. Now they have a billing software. So this is how they computerize the manual work. Same is the case for a factory head worker manually counting the stock. Now software track inventory in real time. So the pattern over here is something when there is something slow or uh, something slow and doing it manually. And so yeah, let me just read it. Something, so when there is something that is either slow or some people doing it manually, we computerizes it by making a software so it become fast and automatic. And now the next option we have is the as I said over here, there are two reasons why we make software. So one is computerization, like problem solving and automatic manual process. The second one we have is standardization. So it just mean in simple term, when you have a software. So I think it's more like advancement or like going better, developing something new, not like automatic or solving a problem that exists. It's like something new, I guess. Let's just see it. This is different here. The problem is not that something is slow. Okay, yeah, we here the problem is not that it's slow. The problem is that everyone is doing things differently. Yeah, so I will just give you example after I do this. Department A uses one format. Okay, this is just example. So what this mean is the problem is that everyone is doing things differently. So back in the days when internet were new, like computer were new, and the communication between computer, they were like using only the computer that, like for example, let's say USA makes computer, and they were using some specific standard. So only computer that were inside the USA and made by the USA, they will be uh, able to talk to each other. And if we take another example, like let's say the Germany do the same, they also make computer and stuff. Only the Germany computer will talk to each other because use another standard, the USS use another standard. So there is a problem. So in late yeah, I think in late 19th, they what they did is they made something which is what we call OSI model, or actually TCP IP model, which was like they made a standard that for computer communication or devices communication or a network, every single device in the world will use this TCP IP model. So they just made that a standard. Now let's just talk about this one. Department A uses one format, department B uses another format. Hospital X record patient in one way, hospital Y record them differently. This is like, for example, what will be the best example? Let's just see it down here. This cause like you make the same thing, or um you use one format, I use another format, so our format are different, and it will be hard for us to understand. It will be hard for you to understand my work, and for me it will be hard to understand yours. So you build software that forces everyone to follow the same process. Okay, real example, let's just talk about this. Government wants all hospital to use the same patient record format. A company wants all its branches on the same accounting system. A university wants all department to report exam. Yeah, these are just some example. The one I gave you about the internet, this one is like the best one. So the pattern, everyone is doing things differently. You make a standard, so then according to that standard, everyone do follow that standard and do the stuff. Okay, here is one more thing. Sometimes neither a computerization solution or nor a standardization tool exists in the market that fits your exact needs. In that case, so what it's saying is, in rare cases there is like you cannot solve a problem with the computerization solution or with the standardization. So what you do in that case is you build your own software from scratch, like custom software, fully based on your requirements. So this is called custom software, like when there is no solution, like you cannot solve that by either computerization or the advancement or standardization. What you go for then is you go for the custom software development. It's more expensive, and it also takes time. Okay, so now why, now what does now that you have identified why the software needs to build, yeah, we do know that software like either solve a specific problem or do, like when people are doing the same thing differently, so they make a standard, so standardization. So what we do next is you move into the first official step of software development process, which is initialization. So after we see and find out if we are going for computerization or standardization, and after that what we will do is our next step will be initialization. So let's just see what this is. Initialization is simply the moment you say, okay, we have identified the problem, now let's just get serious about whether we can actually solve it or no. So it's like figuring out, yeah, we have this problem, and we need to get serious to get to make this software and to solve the problem. So we have now the problem. We now either we go for the standardization, computerization, and we are getting serious in the initialization. What we do next is, before you come into building anything, like hiring developers, servers, and the stuff that it we needed for the software, we ask a question: is this project even possible? Like, uh, is it possible to make this, and is it possible and like different question, do people will use it or no? So this same question is answered by the feasibility study. Feasibility study. um feasibility feasibility viability. Okay, so this we in initialization we will get serious, and in to make the software. But to make the software, first of all, we will need to find out if the project is even possible or not. So that will only answered by the feasibility study. What this is now, let's just talk about this. So in short, it just means, can we actually build the software that we wanted to or no? The study of possibility of completing a task determine if the project is viable or not. Like if it just mean the software we want to make, is it even possible to make, or like it's not. So we have analogy here. Think of it like this way. Before you build a house, you don't just start laying bricks. Yeah, so we have a land, we just don't just directly get the bricks and material and just start making the home. We check, what we do is we check, do I have the land? Yeah, we do have the land. Do I have the money for the material that we will be need for the house? Yeah, so I have a money. Do I have the like a worker that will do the work? And a bunch of these questions. So this is what a feasibility study answer. In software it's the same idea. So that was the analogy. In software it's the same idea. You pause, investigate, and only proceed if the answer are good. So the feasibility study for software development is based on what is this, also worth nothing. Every software project has three defining characters that makes feasibility studies necessary. Every project is different, no two are exactly alike. Alright, so it just kind of mean because every project is unique, temporary, and like every software project is unique and different from the another and has a specific um uh, what it's temporary mean is it's like for a specific time, and this just I guess mean I'm confused in this cause I don't know why do we even. Okay, because every project is unique and temporary, you cannot just copy and wait, let me open the another note. It's better, I guess. Where is it? Let me quickly open that. Wait, I need to I think copy the link from Discord. I guess I share it with my WhatsApp. Hopefully I just find it fast. Not this one. Let me actually share it again one more time. um I copied the link, and actually I am on my phone and had the notes on phone, so okay, 1 minute. Oh, come on. Yeah, I have copied the link now, and just 1 minute and it will be opened. Yeah, I have opened it. Let's just continue from that part. So the feasibility study was the possibility of a completion of tasks if the project is viable or not. So it just means, is it possible to make the software or not? Do we have the money for that or no? And do we have the time and people for that or no? So these are the questions that feasibility study answers before making the software. And this is the same analogy of making the house and the land and stuff that we talked about. And this was the same unique, temporary, and specific purpose and time of the project development. Now let's just talk about how do we do the feasibility study. Actually, we know that we ask these questions in it, but how actually do we do it? So number one, we ask, we have the technical feasibility. Is the problem solvable? Like, can we solve it? And is it technically possible or no? So in technical feasibility, we actually ask, is it technically possible or no, by hiring a expert, or having your own human resources. So it just simply mean, can we make the software, can we actually build this with available technology, like whatever technology you have, can you make this software with it or no? So you ask some question, do we have the technology, do we have the skill, developers, engineers? If not, can we hire expert, do we have the money for them or no? So you will have to answer these questions before making. It's not like I get the idea, let's just make it. The example we have is, if someone wants to build an app that reads people mind. So if you think about it, it's like technically not possible, and like the technology for that does not exist yet, or maybe I don't know, but yeah, for right now it does not exist, so it's not technically possible or feasible. But instead of that, if someone say, build me a student management system, it's technically possible. They can just make the software that they can manage the student and stuff from there. The next one we have is the financial feasibility. Do we have it? Answer, like, in simple term, do we have the money for the software or no, that we want to make? So I have not noted down this example, the PC one, um specifically for Pakistani government. If they want to make any software or project for some, for any, for anything, right, they need it. What they do is, they fill, you can see right here, this PC1 form or the project concept one. They fill the form to, and then and they estimate the budget of the total budget of the software. So what you do in this again is, the key point over here is that you calculate the total cost of the project, and you also answer if the client wants to even pay that much or no. And you will actually have to tell the project or the budget a bit higher because of inflation and unexpected causes, or for some stuff that gets get some issues, so you will have to get that again. So if the client is happy and is willing to pay for that, you are good to go. But if they don't want to pay. Like in this example, build me an app, I have this much money. And this is government, and they came to me and asked me to make a software. I have this budget, so I calculate the budget for that a project, and according to my calculation it costs this much. So it's like not financially feasible. Either they have to pay more, or I can, or we have to not make this, because I cannot make pay the rest of the money from my own pocket. Another one we have is the example are kind of, the cloud just made the wrong example, but I'll explain what the real example is. So operational feasibility means once we make the software, will people actually use it or no efficiently. So the example that we got or discussed in class was that the FIR, like when someone do some crime and you just go, you used to go for to the police station and fill the report like, on that person. So you had to manually do that stuff. What the government did is they made a website that cost this much Pakistani rupees, right? What this was like, open your phone and go to uh, the website where you can just file like a report on people. You will just open phone, go to that website and fill the report on people. Uh, the problem in this was they spent this much money, and they wanted to make the process easy for people. But what happens is that nowadays all of the people have the mobile phone. But there it is, even for a small dispute and stuff like stealing a small thing, they will just go to the website and file a FIR or the report on that person. So they were like very distracted. People were just making the FIR report on other people for a small things. So what happened is that the website just was open for only a week, I guess, or a bit more, maybe 10 days, and then they closed the website where you will just go and file the FIR. They actually closed it because of that. Because a lot of people were just making reports for small issues, and the cops and inside the police station, they were saying either we will focus on these small issues thing that don't even matter, or either we have to actually do the work, the police station stuff, and whatever they do. So they just closed that, and this much money was just what do I say, lost, or like they did not actually use better way of this. Yeah, so they closed that. And so the thing was operational feasibility is that once you make your software, well, people actually use it efficiently or no. If yes, good to go. If no, then a big red flag. The next one we have is social feasibility. When you make a software, what will be the impact of that software on the people and society? So, well, it causes job losses, or and will it harm the community or no, do people will accept this technology or no. So a lot of these answer, like in the real example, making ATM machine, some bank employees, like the mundane stuff they were doing, they just lost their job. It's a social impact. But as you go, things get automated, and as we go further, the involvement of human just getting decreased, I guess. And the other example, like the Uber and stuff, traditional replacing traditional taxi driver. So that's what we used to ask in the feasibility study. Now actually, how to we will talk about how to actually conduct the feasibility study. uh, yeah in the brackets I have wrote system analysis. We actually call the feasibility study also system analysis. So system analysis is the process of studying, like studying and understanding the current market or system before building a new one. So how do we study and get information for that is we have three ways. One is the this get requirement of the project, what is the requirement, and another is um, observation and questionnaire. So in this, what we do is first of all we will find out the requirement, what are the needs and demands. We will actually sit with the client actually and ask for what they need and what they want, and a lot of question like what is their goal. And a bunch of different question, yeah, that we don't have here, but they ask the main what is the need for this software and what are the demands, like what do you want and stuff. And for the requirement we have two types. One is the function, like what should this software do. Do it need to perform some specific function, or is it like non-functional, like the website needs to be loaded in 2 seconds or less than that. And for this functional one is student should be able to do x thing or x action, in this case register for courses. So to get this requirement, first we do the interview. For the taking the requirement that we were talking about, we have three methods. One is the interview, like a formal interview. You have a questionnaire of a specific question, and you are set with the client or with the expert, and you start asking the questions, right? And you get the idea and you get the information. Like the example question in this, how many students register per semester, what information do you currently store about each semester, so that they can make the option for that in the software. Next, what they do is, instead of the interview, what they do is they make questionnaires, like a paper with question, and people just give their own answer. This is not like interview, like I make a questionnaire and I give it to you. You will just type it, write it on a pen and then give it to me. So it's the best one, but it's like less reliable. What I mean by that is, sometimes you just don't want to give correct answers. Just give some random answer. So that's not reliable. You cannot actually say that this is the correct one. Okay, the next one I we have is the observation. So to get the requirement, and the third method for that we have is the observation. Like instead of getting interview, formal interview, or giving people the questionnaire, you just observe things, like how the CIA or the ISI, the intelligence agency, actually observe things, and collect information without talking or asking from anyone. So the simplest example is you want to build a software for hospital reception. To observe what actually they need is, instead of asking what do you do, you just go there, sit there for a day and watch what happens and what are the problem and what they can automate with software. uh, what forms they fill and what information they need in a bunch of these stuff. So about the above stuff that we discussed, if you cannot actually answer that, you don't need to make the software, otherwise it will be for no one or nobody. I know you will make the software, but if it's not solve a problem, it won't people won't use it. So this is the complete summary why we make software. One is computerization, standardization. This step one we had is the initialization, and we know project is unique, no another project is different, and temporary is temporary for a specific time and serve a specific purpose. Next we talked about feasibility study. In this we talked about can you actually make this, and to answer that we had four factors. One is was it technical, is it technical possible the software, do we have that technology. Another one was, do we have the financial feasibility, do we have the money for that or no, and the resources or no. Another one was operation feasibility, can user operate it or no, and will people operate it efficiently or no. And the last one we had is the social feasibility, the what will be the impact of that software on people and society. uh, uh, Give me a moment, I will just come back. Mm. Okay, so the last one, this one is actually and in last we talked about how do we conduct the feasibility study or the system analysis. So first of all, we need to get the requirement of or the building blocks. Requirement mean the building blocks or the needs or demands or the software. So we have three method we talked about just now. One was the interview. You get like you do the formal interview with the expert. With interview formal interview, and you ask the question from the expert and stuff. And the next method was questionnaire. You hand the questionnaire to people and they like the expert and they sometimes, but you know that fill the question and write the answer, but it's not like reliable. You don't like you cannot guarantee that this answer will be perfect or right. Another one, the last one was the observation, like sitting in the hospital and see what people do, what should be automated and different stuff. So hopefully we covered this, and let me show you one more thing. Not this, the cheat sheet. Where is it? Yeah, this is it, I guess. So this is like the cheat sheet. All of the stuff explain very shortly, so you just look at that and you will remember why do we what this is cheat sheet. When you look at it, you will just remember it faster, I guess. So the first we talked about why we make software. um, then we had two types to answer this question. Either we go for the computerization, standardization, and every project is unique, and this. We then do the conduct the feasibility study, and it gives us this information: is it technically possible, financially possible, operation in the stuff that we just talked about. So I'll just close it now. Maybe I will come tomorrow, I don't know.